Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show.
Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Anthony Weinkopff on the line, and he's director and co-founder over at Embrace Tutoring and Educational Services. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Adam, thanks for having me. Great to be here. Looking forward to kind of weighing in on scaling our business.
Yeah, fantastic topic you chose today, scaling your business, and a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives listening to this. So maybe just to get us kicked off, maybe just give us a little bit about your background and how you got started as an entrepreneur.
So over the years, I was in education for a number of years, and I was actually a Stanford faculty liaison in the college admissions sector prior to starting Embrace. And long story short, I took on two really incredible co-founders, and we built and scaled a model for what Embrace is today. And we tend to specialize in creating academic roadmaps for those students that are really furthering in education. Our goal and really what our mission is we work with students from all different ages where they might be applying for, let's say they want to apply to independent schools, or maybe they want to apply to college, or maybe even graduate schools. We then match them with private tutors as well as college admission consultants to help guide them along the way so that they can make better informed and educated decisions regarding that process.
So you have obviously you're helping people, you're helping students, and, going on this entrepreneurial venture. We all learn from the ups, the downs, everything in between. It's just part of the entrepreneur's journey. What kind of advice would you give to some of those new, just getting started entrepreneurs out there that maybe they have an idea, they have a concept, and they're going for it, but maybe they could use some of those words of wisdom?
Oh, that's such a good question. I would say the big thing for the one is to kind of jump in first. I would really encourage them to tinker, kind of explore and discover, get their feet wet in the field. I myself was a product of public school education. I never had tutors for along the way, and it wasn't until I was kind of exposed to various facets of education and sort of what the private tutoring sector or even college admissions sector really was. And that sort of opened my eyes a little bit in terms of what could be and really where those needs could be and how we can kind of bring value to those individuals. So the first thing I would say is kind of really start to get their feet, get that experience that they need. And then I would say for them to just learn to kind of adapt, to learn as they're going, if they're bootstrapping. And we've bootstrapped Embrace the all the way through. We're very blessed over the years to be entirely self-funded and to kind of move forward. But for any individual entrepreneur or someone who might be thinking, hey, maybe do I want to take that next step? Do I maybe want to venture out on my own? It's sort of get that experience first of what it's like to actually work in that within that industry, and then if it happens to be an idea that they just can't leave alone, and if it is something that they feel as though is going to be bringing value to other individuals' lives, whether they do it or not, right? Whether or not they decide to move forward and pursue that business, or maybe if somebody else does, and they still feel as though the world is really going to be a better place, or it's going to bring value in some aspect, then I would encourage them to kind of take a chance on themselves and go for it.
What have been some of the most important factors for Embrace's success?
Really, we have a really talented team, and I don't want to by any way sort of take away from our systems, right, or our model or our processing, but our team is phenomenal. My business partners, Mrs. Suzanne Park and Mr. Andy Lee, are both phenomenal. We have really, really great educators and directors that work with us that have, hundreds of and thousands of hours of private tutoring as well as college admissions experience. So that kind of is really, in some ways, I would say, kind of put us at the forefront of knowing what to do and sort of staying true to what is going to be in the best interest of the student and the family in terms of the education. But we've also been very, I would say, we've also been very innovative. We've always tried to be customer obsessed, and we've always tried to think to ourselves, is the decision that we're making, how will this affect the student's learning experience? How will this affect the family's understanding of whatever admission process that they're going through? And then also at the same time, how will it affect the tutors and how will it affect the company? So we're trying to make decisions that we feel are the betterment of the kind of that trinity, if you will, of what's going to be in the best interest of the tutors, what's going to be in the best interest of the students, and what's going to be in the best interest of the company.
What kind of feedback have you received on this so far? I'm just curious because you have different stakeholders here, as you mentioned. So you have the tutors, you have the students, obviously, all those the entire chain there. What kind of feedback have you received?
That's a good question. So feedback with respect in terms of like how well the students are performing. Is that what you're?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the students have done really, really well, and under our program, because we kind of create a system where there's a lot of support, and we've built features out intentionally where the individuals who come and will use our program will have the option of using different packages, and they, depending on the size of the package that they use, they will then get additional features kind of built in. So the best way to think about it is, you'll get your personal trainer, right, like Peloton style, right, and then you'll get your nutrition plan, and then you get your dietitian, right, and then you get to come to these free online exercise classes, if you will. But just imagine that all engulfed in kind of an educational setting where you have advocates and kind of consultants along the way guiding you to help you make those decisions. So our students have done very well in the program. I would say some general statistics. Most of our test prep students increased by about 25% or more from where they start. How well they improve on, let's say, the SAT or ACT is relative to where they're beginning. And then I would even say most of them, from a college admission standpoint, are generally accepted to one of their top choice schools, top 3 choice schools that they do. But regardless, they all feel much more confident coming out of the program and working with Embrace. Their study habits are improved. They feel much better at problem solving and thinking and sort of logic-based reasoning.
That's awesome, and I get it, and it makes a lot of sense. That being said, so what are your obviously you're growing, big need for what you're doing in the market. What kind of plans do you have going forward?
That's a good question. We attempt to always be innovative of what we're doing, and we like to think to ourselves, where's the puck going, not where it is. And we were fortunate actually before the pandemic to begin implementing a number of online systems and teaching our tutors, how to do YouTube videos or how to do training or how to set up different LMS systems. And we were very fortunate where we did this a few years ago. So even when COVID had hit and we had to move things or transition to virtual learning, we were kind of already in a position to do that. We had already experimented with Zoom or Google Meet or, WebEx, and we were ready for that. So I would say that it's really about thinking kind of what is the next great adaptation within education, and then how can we bring that sense or kind of that value back to our audience.
So final question. So number one, who are typically the right types of individuals that are a good fit to work with Embrace? I mean, you've worked with a lot of people. So what's typically the great profile of somebody that's going to benefit the most from working with you and your team? And then number two, what's the best way for them to reach out and to connect and to kind of get the process started?
I see. Well, let me answer the second question first, because that's probably a little bit easier. if they want to, we have social media channels in a number of different. They're welcome to look at our Instagram is generally very for @Embrace Tutoring. They're welcome to visit our website, which is www.embracetutoring.com, and simply contact us. And if they have general questions, they may not need a full package. They may not actually need to purchase any sort of kind of service. We do a lot of give back programs where we intentionally have, let's say, a YouTube channel, if you will, where people can get free advice. If they do want to speak with us in more detail, they're simply welcome to fill kind of a contact us page, and then we'd be happy to work with them. Personally, if individuals would like to speak with me, I would say the LinkedIn page for Anthony Weinkopff is going to be the best way to get in touch. With respect to who are the best individuals for us to work with, now we work with people actually from all sorts of different backgrounds, ethnicities, geographic regions. We're headquartered in northern New Jersey, but we actually work with students from all over the world, and which is interesting, right? Because you have to sort of accommodate for the different time schedules and shifts and such. But really, we work with anyone who's kind of invested in education and who may have questions, I would say, regarding an admissions process. Maybe they need private tutoring. Maybe they need a few extra sessions for test prep. Maybe they need long-term academic tutoring or academic enrichment, and maybe they have multiple children, and it's best to sort of have everything kind of in one house. We do allow the families to transfer the hours any way that they see fit, and we also allow the tutors to work with multiple students, even from that same family.
Fantastic. Well, Anthony, great having you on the show today. Big fan of entrepreneurs going out there doing, especially in education. I just mean, like, what you're doing has, in my opinion, a ripple effect, because you're going to help these students. These students are going to help others in the future, and just makes a big difference. So great to bring your story to my audience, and happy to share it. And to everybody listening, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We definitely want you to be a return listener or viewer, depending on where you're watching this. And Anthony, thanks again for coming on the show. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you again, Adam. I appreciate it. Take care.